The police procedure in cases of conjugal violence. There are certain types of abuse that are criminal: physical, sexual, and threats. 1 out of every 3 calls received by the police is a call related to conjugal violence. Who calls the police? The neighbors, the children, and usually the victim are the ones that call the police. Statistics show that a victim will have experienced an average of 35 incidents of abuse before calling the police. When the police arrive at the home, the victim and the perpetrator usually downplay what has happened. The police will look for evidence, such as marks or bruises on the victim. They will see if the children are crying or if there are broken objects around the house. If there is enough evidence for an arrest, the police will arrest the perpetrator, even if the woman does not want to press charges. The perpetrator will then be taken to the detention center. He will appear before a judge. The judge will go over the event and present the evidence against the accused and tell him what he is charged with. There are then 2 possible scenarios. The accused may plead guilty or not guilty. If he pleads guilty, he will be given a sentence. If he pleads not guilty, he may be detained until the trial or released with conditions until the trial. Some of the conditions are: no contact with the victim, keep a certain distance from the victim, do not leave the country, do not have firearms, do not consume drugs or alcohol. What happens to the victim? The victim may choose to remain at home, or she can also go stay with friends and family. The victim can also go to a shelter. If the accused has been released with conditions, there is a series of court dates. The victim will meet a social worker from Côté Cour who will explain the procedure to her. The victim will then meet the prosecutor to make sure that the accused is respecting the conditions. There is then another follow-up. If the accused is respecting the conditions, he will most likely receive an A10, which is an order to keep the peace for a year. If the accused is not respecting the conditions, there will be a preliminary hearing and then a trial. At the trial, there will be a final decision of guilty or not guilty. If the accused is found guilty, there will be a sentence imposed on the accused. If you or someone you know is a victim of abuse, do not be afraid to call 911 or an organization like the Shield of Athena for help. 514-274-8117.